Hi, I'm Krista Perry. Thank you for joining us. With me is Brian Doyle from Doyle Saluski, trustees in insolvency and restructuring. So, Brian, everybody has a little bit of financial trouble here and there, but how do we know that it's time to give Doyle Saluski a call?
Well, when you're continually running out of money at the end of the month, when you're at your limits for your credit cards, when you're taking money out of one credit card to pay another credit card, those are all signs that you've reached your limit and should be seeking professional help.
That sounds really scary because we've all probably been in a situation like that, and there's those companies you can go to get, payday loans and all that, but that's not the way to go. When you're feeling the pressure, when the people are calling, wanting money from you, that's the time you should be calling, or even before that. Get yourself out of that situation before it gets out of control.
Yeah, you've actually hit the wall before the calls start, frankly. And people can look at their own situations, if they can do that objectively by looking at their budgets and seeing how much money they really have left over at the end of the month after paying for all the reasonable lifestyle obligations that they have. Not by putting themselves in debtor's prison, but how much is left over, and then how much is left to pay that interest. Start with the interest. How much are you paying in interest? If you're paying at 21%, 16%, 18%, you're paying a lot of money. Can you afford to pay that? Is that money left over from your budget enough to pay the interest? Okay, if it is, how much of the principal are you paying down? And then what happens when the wheels fall off your budget and something unexpected happens? Because that's what usually pushes people, unfortunately, into bankruptcy. We like to see people do proposals, but the wheels fall off when somebody gets sick, right, someone loses a job, there's an unfortunate circumstance, a child needs help, right? So those things happen. This is life. So look at that and seek professional help before all that happens. When you see the debts building up, particularly if you're an adult in your late 40s, in your 50s, because you've got to save some money for retirement. You cannot be carrying that kind of debt forever. And that's the problem. People are carrying that continually, and they're paying these huge interest rates, and they never get out until something happens, and then they end up having to file for bankruptcy. Get out, deal with it before that happens.
Yes, exactly. I think people have blinders on when it comes to their finances, and they just say, okay, next month I'll pay that off, or I'll deal with it at a later date, and I'm not going to worry about that right now. It's not important. And then before you know it, you're so in over your head. It's too stressful. It's too overwhelming. Plus, people feel a lot of guilt. They feel a lot of anxiety. They feel a lot of stress. They feel ashamed. They don't want to have to come to somebody else and say, look, I've messed up. I don't know what to do. But people shouldn't feel like that. Okay? Doyle Saluski is not the place where they're going to put guilt on you and make you feel horrible. They're going to make you feel as if a big weight has come off your shoulders when they come in.
That's right. We hope to provide solutions to people and let them know, first of all, they're not the only ones. I mean, the majority of people in Canada are carrying financial burdens. But how best do they carry those? How do they deal with them? Paying 21% interest or whatever that large interest rate is not reasonable. You can only do that for so long. I mean, you're only making so much money. Many cases, you've got other obligations, you've got family, and you've got to plan for the future. So how do you get out of that?
And you're also going to help someone plan for the future as well. Maybe it was a situation that they have an addiction. Maybe it's a gambling addiction or anything else, something that costs money, just going to the bars or, partying or whatever, buying things you really don't need can be an addiction, shopping addiction. But you guys can help set up a budget that is reasonable for you and your family so those phone calls stop, so that you're feeling less stress, you can pay your bills and feel that you're accomplishing something after you've done either proposal or bankruptcy.
The majority of people who come to see us end up walking away with information, and they don't require a formal process. They are able to see that they can fix things with budgeting, or they can fix things by refinancing a mortgage and by cutting spending, redirecting priorities on payment of credit cards, establishing a plan to deal with that debt and getting out of debt. I mean, that's the deal. Get out of debt. You don't want any more debt at a certain point of time. It's over. You've got to build a nest egg. Debt is good. You get into debt to buy a house. Buying the car, okay, but I know a lot of people who buy the car they don't need. It's the car they want.
Right.
So all these wants, not necessarily needs. All this has to be discussed, and best to do with an objective, trained professional counselor.
That's right. Don't go to the internet. Don't go to ads you see that don't say trustee. You guys have been doing this for a very long time. You know what you're doing. You're trustees. You're professionals. You're compassionate, and you will help. You will help. How can somebody get in touch with you to relieve this burden before things get even worse?
Well, please call us at 613-237-5555. In Gatineau, it's 819-776-7777. And doylesaluski.ca is our website, and you can get in touch with us through the website.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.